All right, everybody. Welcome to another video today. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be talking about a certain topic I've been itching to make a video about for a long, long time. It's actually the equivalent of the Nordstrom closing in Freehold over Menlo Park. But that's not today's video, rather. Today's video is going to be talking about another department store chain owned by Hudson's Bay Company, better known as Saks Fifth Avenue. Yes, the same people that completely destroyed Lord & Taylor and milked on the real estate of the building also destroyed another, well, not necessarily destroyed a department store chain, but made a very miscalculated decision about, let's say we're almost coming up on 10 years with this decision. So obviously this was in the early to mid 2010s. You know, there was all this hype around American Dream, and it's going to be this big premier multicultural center. There's going to be a lot of entertainment. There's going to be a movie theater. There's going to be a water park, a theme park. There's going to be a lot of great things in this center, which is geographically located off of Interstate 95, Route 3, the proximity to New York City. You guys get the idea of which place I'm talking about. It's American Dream in East Rutherford, New Jersey. But we're not going to be focusing our topic on that. This is about this video today is going to be talking about why closing Saks Fifth Avenue at Short Hills was probably the poorest decision that Hudson's Bay Company ever made, and nobody talks about it. It's like people forgot about it or something. So I'm going to now bring this to attention because it didn't really get a lot of attention. Okay, so the basis was Saks wanted to have one department store per state, and in a strategy in the 21st century, that's not a bad idea. So Saks Fifth Avenue back in the day had two locations in New Jersey, one in Bergen County and the other in Morris County. The one in Bergen County, which was the first to open in 1977, opened at the Shops Riverside in Hackensack, New Jersey, right now where the AMC, the Cheesecake Factory, the Barnes & Noble, and that gym are now based. This was once upon a time the Saks Fifth Avenue department store in the mall. Obviously, it no longer is the Saks Fifth Avenue store because they've completely subdivided the department store building, but yes, this mall had both a Saks Fifth Avenue and a Bloomingdale's store. So in 2014, which is just about 10 years ago, Saks made the decision to close this store in favor of American Dream. Now, this is where I will give Saks credit. Yes, this was probably a smart decision. Number one, they had underutilized space on the lower level, and the store itself was never renovated or updated, and it was a dump. I hate to say it, because ideally it was geographically Route 4, great location right off of the George Washington Bridge. Unfortunately, this store suffered from the fact that they weren't in Paramus at the Westfield Garden State Plaza, and it was a poor performing store. Hudson's Bay wasn't pouring money into it, so they cut their losses completely, and they wanted to close this location in favor of American Dream. And that I totally understand. And the reason why I say that is because this store was a dump. They let it go to crap around like the 2010s. They actually did that Kone modernization for absolutely nothing. And yeah, so okay, you guys get where this is going. They made the correct decision to close Saks Fifth Avenue at the Shops Riverside in Hackensack, New Jersey. That was a smart decision, a smart business decision to make. But then they say, oh, well, we don't think it's enough to close the Shops Riverside. And that's where it should have been left at, period. No further explanations. So the wonderful geniuses, and I emphasize geniuses, at Hudson's Bay Company decide to close another Saks Fifth Avenue department store, the only other Saks Fifth Avenue department store within the state of New Jersey. And that Saks Fifth Avenue department store used to be at the Mall Short Hills. Beautiful department store. Pristine shape. I mean, and talk about a mall that sees a lot of traffic. So in 2016, Hudson's Bay made the decision to close the store. That's right. So the geniuses at Hudson's Bay Company decided, you know what? We don't need the mall at Short Hills store. We're going to close this store in favor of American Dream. Now tell me, name me one other tenant in this mall that has closed their store in favor of American Dream. I mean, think about that for a second. Imagine closing a store at a very profitable mall. This wasn't a dying mall. This wasn't a declining mall. This wasn't a, this mall's gonna lose all of its anchors. This is a very, very, very successful mall. In fact, it is my favorite mall in the state of New Jersey. I rave about this place. I really do. Seriously, it's probably the nicest and most luxurious mall in the state. Take that to the bank. But anyways, getting on with my favoritism for Short Hills here. I don't understand why you would close this store. Now I get it, they just bought Neiman Marcus, so yeah, they have that Short Hills footprint again. But just think about the logistics of that. I mean, my God, what do we have to be on to close Short Hills? And this store, I don't think there was anything wrong with that store. There was nothing wrong with that store at all, because the areas of Springfield and Morristown and Short Hills and Madison, that's where the money is. But the geniuses at Saks thought it was a genius idea to close the store. And guess where they moved? Guess where they moved or geniusly decided to put a new store? Definitely wasn't the mall at Short Hills. No, they wanted out of there, which, again, to me, is maniacal. Absolutely maniacal. But they put their store right here at American Dream. So you're telling me a luxurious department store is going to close Short Hills in favor of American Dream? Name me one other store in that mall that has closed their store foolishly to move to American Dream. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Saks having a store at American Dream, but to close Short Hills in favor of American Dream, I mean, you gotta be on some sort of drugs. And I hate to use that terminology here, but I can't think of any other company that decided to close their store. And from what I'm hearing, and here's the best part, this is where there's really rotten icing on the cake. This Saks Fifth Avenue isn't performing well. So, let's think for a second. Maybe we shouldn't have closed Short Hills. Maybe we shouldn't have closed it. Maybe we should have kept it open. We could have renovated it. And, maybe if we felt that we wanted to have a presence again with a full-line department store in Bergen County, maybe we should have taken a look at Primus again. I mean, really, they could honestly go into Lord & Taylor and screw this American Dream thing, which, honestly, that's what they should have done in the first place. But the geniuses at Saks Fifth Avenue thought it was a genius idea to close Short Hills in favor of American Dream. I mean, you got to be on some sort of, I don't even want to say, because I'm trying to keep my cool here. But, yeah, that's my take on Saks Fifth Avenue closing Short Hills. I'm sorry. It had to be said, because this really hasn't gotten a video in itself, and people have kind of forgotten about the topic. I know that, it's kind of the thing, but it's just how I feel. Someone could spin it another way. But, I mean, you really got to think. Was it a great idea to close the Saks at the mall at Short Hills? And they could have had this one. They could have kept American Dream, and they could have had the mall at Short Hills. It was very simple. They could have closed Hackensack. Absolutely. I agree. 100%. That was a dump, and they needed to get out of there. But to close the mall at Short Hills, I mean, you got to be real stupid to close that one. But who knows? It could have been a lease thing, and Saks wasn't able to pay their bills, and Taubman could have raised rent. So there's other factors that we don't know. But still, there's money out there. There's people that have a lot of money out there, and that can afford things at a Saks Fifth Avenue store. I don't know, just people don't think sometimes. Sometimes they make a move, and unfortunately they make a miscalculation. And the miscalculation here is that, our store's not doing too well, and now we're looking to try and potentially leave down the road. So, I don't know. I mean, I think they'll stay for now, but who knows? A lot could change in the next couple of years or so. But anyways, that's been my thoughts on why they made a dreadful mistake to close the mall at Short Hills, and I think it was probably the worst decision that Hudson's Bay Company ever made. And they've made some pretty bad decisions. I mean, they've made some pretty bad decisions. Look at how they ran Lord & Taylor. They ran that crap right into the ground. They gave it to Latote. I mean, Latote didn't count on the pandemic, but still, Hudson's Bay Company is now milking on the real estate of those buildings, pretty much. It's like, I don't know. Anyways, that's my little story on Saks Fifth Avenue of why Hudson's Bay made the mistake to close Saks Fifth Avenue at the mall at Short Hills. And it was a pretty big one that maybe, now they'll have to figure out a way to get back there. Hopefully, maybe with the Neiman Marcus acquisition. Who knows? Maybe something will change for them. But I think at the end of the day, it was still a mistake for them to leave the mall at Short Hills. They might have an in now with Neiman Marcus, but that's a long ways away for that whole merger to come together. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a lot, but it's, hopefully they learn from their mistakes and hopefully they can move forward. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, that's it.